Well, the Saints are set to go on the road for the first time this regular season. Saints-Falcons coming up in just moments. So is the ACME Oyster House afternoon wrap. Well, we are just moments away, relatively so, for that first meeting of the year with the Atlanta Falcons. With John DeShazier, I'm Sean Kelley. Welcome, everybody, to the ACME Oyster House afternoon wrap. John, your phrase here in just a moment, but first we got to put a wrap on the practice week. Friday on the field means usually goal line, red zone, special situations.
Yeah, you get all those situations worked out. And the Saints weren't at peak efficiency offensively against Cleveland. Left some points out there on the board, so certainly those are some things they wanted to clean up. Missed out on a red zone touchdown or two, and also a deep pass from Drew Brees to Ted Ginn. So certainly those are areas they wanted to clean up, and hopefully got that done this week.
Throughout the week, we've been talking about little adjustments, tweaks, and some of those have to do with injuries and the next guy up type of thing. And obviously, we've talked this week about who will be returning punts possibly for the Saints. John, defensively, it looks like they're maybe having to do a little shaking up at the linebacker position and maybe even the secondary too.
Yeah, Manti Te'o probably didn't, we don't necessarily know if he worked today, but he didn't work on Wednesday and Thursday. And that looks like that might leave Craig Robertson to move up and get some game reps. And certainly that's something that a lot of people have been asking about. Craig Robertson been extremely effective for this team the previous two seasons, so he might have an opportunity to get back out there. And then maybe in the secondary, P.J. Williams, we saw him a little bit working with the ones during the portion of practice that was open for the media to watch. We don't necessarily know if that's going to mean he's going to start, but certainly looks like he's going to get more snaps. And in that situation, that might mean less snaps for Ken Crawley. Maybe Ken Crawley goes down to the dime cornerback.
All right, and of course, P.J. Williams is a name that we're all familiar with. We're also unfortunately familiar with a lot of ways his unavailability. He's battled injuries over his career. Head coach Sean Payton, though, says that Williams is coming off of a very good training camp and a good start to the season, too.
Look, he had a good camp, and we feel like we're deeper at that position than we have been maybe in the last 2 or 3 years. So he's doing well. That group in general has got experience, and and I think not only experience, but they played well.
Of course, when it comes to tweaking and making adjustments, no team probably has had to do it more maybe than the Atlanta Falcons. They've had to do this all season long so far, and that'll again continue this week with their injury situation, especially now along their offensive line. Speaking of Atlanta, and I guess what I'm saying is the city of Atlanta, it's a bit of a homecoming this week for Saints running back Alvin Kamara. Atlanta is home for him, J.D.
Yeah, played his high school ball there. Phenomenal high school player. Did not get an opportunity to play in front of his family and friends last year because on the first offensive series he got dinged up, had to leave that game with a concussion, so didn't have a great homecoming from that standpoint.
All right, John did get a chance in the locker room today to talk with Alvin about this potential homecoming.
I know it's not extra that you want to bring, but you are home. Mm-hmm. Does it mean a little bit more to, and especially after not having been able to play in that game last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to go home. I think any player will feel good going home, but I don't really look at it like that. Like, I got to go extra hard, or like, it's another game. The opponent is faceless. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. We just going out there trying to get the same result every week, and that's a win.
Now, is there a little something extra considering you guys 0-1 in the division? You don't want to be 0-2 in the division, obviously, and the first goal is to win the division.
Yeah, every division game is a big game, so it's definitely magnified. So, we definitely want to handle our business and, like I said, get a win.
Well, John, it'd be hard for us to end our week of practice and week of afternoon wraps without kind of circling back to the rivalry itself. It does mean so much to the fans in both cities. Sometimes you wonder, though, does it mean as much to the players? In some cases, yes.
Yeah, a lot of cases with the players, yes, especially if you've been around a long time or you've been through this series maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 games. You understand the intensity. A lot of these guys come from big-time college programs, so they have natural rivals at those programs. But when they get to the NFL, not necessarily a rival, they don't think, until they get into this situation. They see the way the fans react and really the way they play in those games.
We asked Michael Thomas about it. Of course, Michael Thomas went to the Ohio State University. I told him I would say that. But certainly, Saints-Falcons, or at the NFL level, you can't get quite the same rivalry as, say, an Ohio State-Michigan game, but Thomas did offer some perspective.
It's the game. It's both organizations know each other. It's the division. you know, you have to execute at a high level. You can't make many mistakes. They have talent on that side. We have a lot of talent on this side. You got to go at it, and this is one of those games you want to lock in on the game plan and do your job because we know each other.
Ted says it's not that way. How is it different?
You got to ask Ted why he thought it was not that way. I just feel like every game, and then we know we're playing for a division. It's important, so we got to treat it some type of way.
Well, the bottom line is this. It's a divisional game. It is the 98th meeting all-time in the regular season between the Saints and the Falcons. Each team won on their home field last year. And as a matter of fact, for the New Orleans Saints, speaking of divisional games, this is their last divisional game until Thanksgiving night against the Atlanta Falcons. All right, with that, John, it's time for your phrase.
Let's get it on. No, he's in the barn. Let's get to it.
A little extra spice for you here as we get ready to end, as they say in some parts, hate week. Saints and Falcons this weekend. Coverage at noon on Fox and the Saints Radio Network. Also full coverage as well at NewOrleansSaints.com and on your Saints mobile app. That'll do it for us. Have a great weekend, everybody. For John, I'm Sean. We'll see you next time on the ACME Oyster House Afternoon Wrap.